Hey yo, Unsalted Organics here, and we have a project today. Today, we're gonna set up my new tent. This is a 4x3x6 2-in-1 tent. So now we just gotta figure out where the hell it's gonna. I think I'm gonna put it right there. You know where all that stuff is, because nothing can be easy. Everything's got to be a lot of work. All right, to the time lapse. Get a chance to take a look at the structure. It is a 2-chamber, well, I guess 3-chamber if you count that shelf. So this first chamber is a 3x3x6. This second chamber is a 1x3x6 with a shelf in the middle of it. Sturdy frame, actually quite a bit more sturdy than the Amaga Belly, but I'm pretty sure the Amaga Belly doesn't even make these tents anymore, which is good because they're kind of garbage. I'll kind of go through and compare the two after I'm done setting this one up. But easy structure to set up, and you know, it's you just following step-by-step instructions. But I'm happy with the skeleton. Now let's see if this canvas is a pain in the boot to get on. Let's go. So it's all set up. By the way, this is a Viparspectra tent, 3x4, but with 2 separate chambers. One is 3x3, one is 1x3. That was a bit more of a difficult setup than I thought it was going to be, but it always is the case when you try to put these tents up by yourself. See, really nice, strong structure. I can already tell just by putting this together that this material is probably close to twice as thick as the material on the Amaga Belly. So I'm really happy about that. As you see, this has this little side area there with a little shelf there. That gets covered. There's a piece that gets connected to the Velcro. and covers that up, so this becomes its own little section, and then the other 3x3 section. All right, let's get all the extra things put in and get the lights set up and take it from there. And done. All right, let's open up this bad boy and let you see what's going on. Okay. Oh, so one thing that I like automatically is that this door has a little hook on it. It's really hard doing with one hand. But yeah, that just latches on right there. Hold your door open. Super handy. It's not going to put stress on the zipper when your doors and fabric's just hanging down, so that's a nice little touch. And inside, I got me another LED Tonic Q7. So we have an LED Tonic Q7 in the 4x4, and now we have an LED Tonic Q7 in focus in the 3x3. Same thing, 2 boards, 320 watts, 2.55 micromoles per joule, all controlled through a Meanwhile driver, dimmer switch. It's at 50% right now. And at 50% with no ventilation, it is keeping the 3x3 at 32% humidity, 82.2 degrees. So it's good temp, good humidity, good temp at least. Humidity is really out of my control until I get a humidifier in here. But the temperature, I tested it last night and I turned the dimmer up to 100% and it got up to 95 degrees pretty much immediately. So running these things on full power, even with ventilation in this tent, I don't think is going to be an option. But it's cool because the power output for 50% power in a 3x3, the footprint's still really good. I think it was like something at 30 inches. It's still at the very far edges at 50%. It was like 650 ppmd. Yeah. All right. So that's just one of the chambers though. 3x3 with the LED Tonic Q7. Come over here. Unzip the 1x3 and we have the LED Tonic Q2 back at you. So what this chamber is going to be meant for the most part, is probably seed starting my vegetable garden for right now. But I mean, you could do, I could do 2 autoflowers on each of these, because there's another section right down here. I don't have another Q2 hung up, but I do have another Q2 to hang up in there. But I could do 4 autoflowers in 5-gallon pots right in this area here. Relative humidity and temperature is about 37%, 77.1 degrees with the 1Q2 running. So you see this barrier here, which just velcroed on the top. It does act as a nice barrier for temperature at least. Or light leaks. There are some light leaks. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend having anything in this tent that's on a different light schedule. Like I wouldn't put something in the 3x3 on a 12-12 and something in the 1x3 on this side on a 18-6 time schedule. Unless you're gonna go through and tape all of that and make sure there's 0 light leaks. But even with this crossbar, this top crossbar, they didn't put what the beam that the crossbar hooks onto in front of this this Velcro. They put it behind it. I'm gonna have to pinch that close later. So this has to make a little gap right there. So I mean, I wouldn't put anything on or in this tent that has different time schedules. Another thing I kind of don't like about it, it's just little things. This tray, there's no actual like 90-degree angles. It's all kind of like wavy. So I had to pop it out, and it doesn't keep its form very well. I'm sure it'll keep its form better when I have stuff in here. And these little ties, I like it better when they're Velcro. I can definitely I can definitely get it tighter when it's Velcro, and I don't like having to like undo double knots to have to take the tray out. Pain in the butt. Again, it's a little thing. I think this was a fault of my own, but there is a little bit of a light leak right here, but I think when I was getting this top over the bar, I might have just stretched it out a little bit. I might have heard a stitch or two pop. But with a light leak like this, you can just use black nail polish and that'll fix that right up. So I'm not worried about that. So all in all, first impressions, let's get back. I do like it. I think it's gonna come in very handy. It is of a higher quality than this tent. If you see all the little tape spots on this tent, it's because that's just pinholes that wore themselves into this canvas, which is super thin. I like the fact that this body, this canvas, is kind of nice and taut, nice and tweet, and this skin is it's got a lot of play in it, man. It's not really a tight skin to the structure, and it never has been, but it does what it needs to do. I do have to figure out exhaust. So here's my exhaust for the 4x4, and I was thinking about just flipping the exhaust fan around, exhausting it through this side, then exhausting that into the Viparspectra. Because essentially, I mean hypothetically, you would be exhausting a perfect temperature because I have all of my tools making sure that the environment in this tent is perfect, or at least what I'm shooting for. You know, I control it down to the degree, down to the percentage humidity. So this is completely controlled. But can I exhaust that environment over here? That's the question. So we're gonna try that out. So I'm gonna try out first exhausting this tent into this tent to see if it at least keeps up on humidity. I'm not worried about it keeping up on temperature. The lights in this tent will keep up on temperature alone, except for at nighttime. You know, the heat goes into that tent. It does kick on still once or twice a night, and then kick over in here. So maybe it'll heat the tent. We'll see. This is all an experiment, but I mean, there's a good chance I'm just gonna have to buy the equipment to do its own exhaust and intake system, and I gotta buy more fans. So there's a checklist. There's a list that I need to get done before this tent's actually up and running, but it's there and it's waiting for me, and it looks good. So yeah, this is my new Viparspectra 2-in-1 tent. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe if you want. Helps me out. Leave a comment. We can have a little conversation, guys. Peace.